Hello grade 9 learners, I am Teacher Ira. Welcome back to our Mathematics 9 lesson. In our previous lesson, natutunan natin kung paano mag-construct ng line segments, bisectors, and angles using a compass and a straight edge. Today, we will continue developing your geometric construction skills by learning how to construct perpendicular lines and parallel lines. So, itong construction na to ay importante because they are used in architecture, engineering, drafting, construction, and many real-world designs. So, by the end of this lesson, I can please read. Okay, so this time you will prepare your compass, straight edge, pencil, and extra paper. Let's begin. So, bago tayo mag-start, magre-review muna tayo. Can you remember what a compass is used for in geometric construction? So, a compass will help us copy distances and create arcs of equal radius. How about a straight edge? Ang straight edge will help us to draw straight lines and connect points accurately. So, itong dalawang tools na to ay very important in today's activity. Perpendicular lines are two lines that intersect and form right angles. Each angle measures 90 degrees. So, can you think of examples around you? So, yung mga possible answers natin, yung corner ng book. So, nagpo-form siya ng 90 degrees. Same din sa walls and floors. Pwede rin ang window frames at yung classroom whiteboard. These objects show perpendicular lines in everyday life. So, what are parallel lines? Parallel lines, ito yung linya, hindi sila nag-meet no matter how far they are extended. They always remain the same distance apart. So, ano yung mga example natin? Yung railway tracks. Pwede rin dyan yung opposite edges of a ruler. Lines on notebook paper. Now, let's learn how to construct these lines. So, magkakaroon tayo ng activity. Ang activity na to is hands-on geometry, construction of perpendicular lines and parallel lines. Ano nga bang objective ng activity na to? So, you should be able to construct perpendicular lines and parallel lines using compass and straight edge. Kailangan yung materials is compass, straight edge, pencil, and worksheet. So, instruction muna. You're going to look at the step-by-step photo guide on constructing a perpendicular line. You're going to take a moment to familiarize yourself with each step. Construct the perpendicular lines and parallel lines using this step-by-step guide. So, given natin dito is line L, containing point T. Ang goal natin dito is makapag-construct ng perpendicular to L passing through point B. Step 1 natin, you're going to use straight edge. Magdadraw muna tayo ng line L. And then we're going to mark point T on the line. So itong point na to will be the location where our perpendicular line will pass. Step 2, you're going to place the compass point at T. Using any convenient compass opening, draw an arc to the left and to the right of point T. So, yung arc na yon should be intersect line L. Label the intersection points D and K. Manonotice nyo na ang DT is equal to TK because they were created using the same compass setting. Step 3. You're going to draw the first arc above the line. I-open muna nyo yung compass slightly wider than the distance DT. You're going to place the compass point sa D and draw an arc above line L. Step 4. Without changing the compass setting, place nyo yung compass point sa K. Draw an arc above the line so that it intersects the first arc. Now, label the intersection point S. Step 5. Using straight edge or ruler, you're going to connect the points S and T. The line ST is the perpendicular to line L. Therefore, ang ST ay perpendicular to line L. Congratulations! You have successfully constructed a perpendicular line. So, bakit nga ba itong construction natin nag-work to? Dahil yung arcs from points D and K have the same radius. point S is equally distant from D and K. When connected to T, the resulting lines forms a right angle with line L. Think about railroad tracks or the lines on a notebook. Nagmi-meet ba sila? Di ba hindi? So these are examples of parallel lines. Yung parallel lines remain the same distance apart and never intersect. So ngayon, magko-construct tayo ng parallel lines. Meron tayo ditong line L and point P, which is not on line L. Ang goal natin is makapag-construct ng line parallel to L through point P. Using your straight edge, mag-draw muna kayo ng line L, then ipi-place nyo yung point P above the line. Remember na ang point P should not lie on line L. Mag-draw kayo ng line T passing through point P and intersecting line L. You're going to label the angle formed as angle 1. So, using your compass and straight edge, mag-construct kayo ng angle congruent to angle 1 at point P. Label this newly constructed angle as angle 2 because the angles are congruent. Angle 1 is congruent to angle 2. Next, step number 4. Extend nyo yung one side of angle 2 to form line M. Yung line M passes through point P. Since the corresponding angles are congruent, ibig sabihin yan, yung M is parallel to L. You have successfully constructed a parallel line. Ngayon, mag-reflect naman tayo sa natutunan nyo. Question number 1. How does the compass help ensure that lines you constructed are perpendicular? Siyempre, yung compass, nagkikreate siya ng arcs with equal radii. The equal distances help locate points that form a perpendicular line accurately. Question number 2. How do the steps ensure that the line you constructed is parallel to the given line? So, alam naman natin, yung compass copies the same distance from the original line. Since the distance remains constant, the new line is parallel. What challenges did you encounter while constructing the perpendicular or parallel line? And how did you overcome them? Siyempre, sa una, it was difficult to keep the compass opening unchanged and create accurate intersections. So, by holding the compass steadily and working carefully, we were able to complete the construction successfully. How do points, lines, and planes serve as the foundation for constructing all the other geometric figures? Let's think about the geometric figures we have learned. Yung line segment ba nag-exist without points? Yung angle ba nag-exist without rays? Yung rays ba nag-exist without lines? So, alam naman natin, the answer is no. Everything in geometry begins with 3 fundamental concepts. Yung point, line, plane. So, these are called the undefined terms of geometry because they are accepted without formal definitions. So, pag sinabi nating point represents an exact location. Pag line made up of infinitely many points extending endlessly in 2 directions. Yung plane naman is a flat surface that extends infinitely in all directions. So, itong tatlong concepts na to ay nagsaserve as the building blocks of geometry. For example, yung line segment, nagpo-form siya ng 2 points connected on a line. Ang ray begins at a point and extend infinitely in one direction. Ang angle naman, nagpo-form siya ng 2 rays meet at a point, common endpoint called the vertex. Without points, lines, and planes, other geometric figures cannot exist. So, learners, why are points, lines, and planes considered the foundation of geometry? Kasi they are the basic elements from which all geometric figures are constructed. Question number 2. What distinguishes a line segment from a ray? And how this distinction affect their use in geometric construction? So let's compare a line segment and a ray. Although both are parts of a line, but they have important differences. Pag sa line segment, may dalawa siyang endpoint. At because it has definite endpoints, it has a measurable length na may measure yung length ng line segment. Next, What principles are used in geometric construction of perpendicular lines and why is it important to use a compass and straight edge? So, recall natin yung construction ng perpendicular lines. Paano nga ba natin siya create? Then, inestimate ba natin siya where the right angle should be? No, we use geometric principles. So, ang construction ng perpendicular lines ay nagre-rely on creating equal distances using a compass. When arcs with the same radius intersect, they help identify points that are equally distant from specific points on a line. So, connecting these points create a line that forms a right angle or 90-degree angle. So, the result is a perpendicular line. Why use a compass and straight edge? So, ang compass and straight edge, nagpo-provide siya ng precision. They allow us to construct figures accurately. Nag-a-avoid tayo ng guessing or estimating. At ginagamitan or nagpa-follow tayo ng geometric rules and principles. So, yung accurate constructions are important because geometry relies on logical reasoning and proof. So, even a small error can affect the correctness of a construction. So, let us answer this. We're going to spend at least 5 minutes to answer this activity. A. Determine whether each model suggests a point, a line, or a plane. Number 1. Tip of a pencil touching a paper. 2. The flat surface of a classroom whiteboard. 3. The edge where the floor and wall meet. 4. A telephone wire stretched between two posts. 5. The location of a star in the night sky. You're going to use the figure to name example of each term. Number 1, 3 distinct points. 2, 2 distinct lines. 3, 3 distinct rays. 4, 3 distinct segments. And 5, 2 distinct angles. For the next activity, geometric construction. So, it's up to you kung gagawin nyo ito. So, it will be your guide para makasagot kayo sa inyong teacher. So, geometric construction, using a straight edge and compass, you're going to construct perpendicular lines and parallel lines. So, makikita nyo dyan yung rubrics for assessment. Thank you, grade 9 learners. See you in our next lesson.